Hey guys. Um, Today I thought that I would make a video complaining slash ranting and talking about my feelings because that's important. But yeah, I'm gonna be super relatable right now. 100%, 10 out of 10. You'll understand what I'm saying because I'm talking about why high school is like unbearable and it's basically like human torture. So, yeah. This video would like if you already have graduated high school, and comment down below if you are actually currently in high school and what bothers you about it. Because, I don't know, maybe I mention it. But, first thing, like, just the whole passage through, like, you're 14, you're starting, you finish middle school, and you're like, gosh dang it, I want to be 13 again. Because you walk through those doors, and it's just like, whoo! No, thank you. No, thank you. What is the smell? I have never smelled this before. Like, I have walked into, like, the high school nearest to me, like, once. This is twice, that's once. And that is because, in like, our homeschool, like, I have even before, like, the pandemic. So I've never actually, like, been to school, like, physically. So, walking in there, I'm like, what is that? I'm like, hey, is this, like, sulfur? Like, what is the smell? And no one says, like, anything about that. And then the second struggle being a freshman, because you're just like learning about like how to adapt to the lifestyle, I guess, like just like, adapting to like the building and the schedules and the people and the culture and everything of it. All this like happening, like you're trying to like understand. And the worst thing, other than like the smell or how gross it can get, which like, appreciate good janitors if you have them. Thank you. But like, you walk through the hallway when everyone is like, going like out of class or into a class, when they're like really full. They're like, oh, hey, recess. I don't know if they still call it recess, but I have seen, I guess it's lunch where people are like, outside chilling, throwing footballs at each other until one of them gets hit in the face. I'm in a mood right now. But yeah, like, you're just like, you have to walk through high school, like you have to walk through like the hallways and the stairs and like everything like this. Because there's too many teenagers right now. Like, there's too many people going to and from places that you can't, Like, being in a high school building feels like you're in New York. It's just too crowded, and it's cold, and it's gross, and you don't like it, and you wish you weren't there. There's, like, always, like, a smell. Everyone's trying to get somewhere, and it's just, I can't. Like, I went to New York, like, once, and I did not like it. It was rainy, and it was freezing, and you get kind of soaked, and there are just too many people on the road. Like, no. Can I go somewhere where there's, like, an actual, like, road to drive on instead of, like, a swarm of, like, vehicles? Like, just the cars are just, like, giant magnet, just all together, and it's just, oh. No. So, yeah, after that horrible, like, first year of getting used to all the things, you're gliding in sophomore and maybe junior year, You're, like, enjoying being a 15-year-old. You have your clique already. You're doing good. You're getting those good grades. I'm just making things up. I don't know if that's actually true. It's different for everybody because we're all, like, different people. But, like, I just feel like being, like, a sophomore is kind of like, it's kind of good. Like, you're kind of like just coasting. And then once you hit 16 and 17, you know, your junior and senior years, you're like, oh crap, I am almost a legal adult. Like, I'm gonna be able to vote in like a year and a half. And I have no idea what I am doing. What is life? Who am I? What's happening to me? You know, like, once you're 16, you're kind of like, holy crap, one more year of this, and then I'm gonna go and, like, who knows where, doing who the heck knows what. Like, seriously. College, not college, that's the biggest decision of your life when you are in, like, your last year or two of high school. You're like, oh, snap. Am I gonna, like, go somewhere to learn how to do this really cool thing and do what I love for a living, only to pay off the large amount of debt? Because college be hecka expensive. Like, the student debt is real. You'll never be able to pay it off as long as you live. Like, it probably takes like 5 people pooling the money together in order to, like, actually be free of the thousands of hundreds of dollars that have gone into that education. But yeah, you know, you're just like, oh crap, am I actually gonna, like, you know, stay in my hometown forever? Or am I gonna, like, move across the country? Or even, like, you know, leave the continent? You know, like, where am I going? Like, how will I afford anything? Like, life just gets real. You're just like, what am I gonna do? Because, like, it's not smart to, like, plan, like, every single second of every day. Like, you know, but, like, just to get a general, like, plan is just stressful. And I'm going through that right now. I'm like, what do I want to do for a living? How am I gonna be able to, like, afford if I want to go to college or not? I don't even know if I would get in, or, like, I mean, like, what I'm going for, or how I'm gonna pay for it. Like, there's just so many, like, variables about, like, everything. Once you're almost finishing high school, you're like, you're right there on the edge of jumping in to, you know, wherever the cliff lands, and it's terrifying. So that's why high school wasn't great sometimes. But then there's just, you know, all the stereotypes people have about teenagers, and, like, the image people have of teenagers. Like, you know, since, like, you have a high metabolism, or you're doing, like, a sport in your school, you know, like, people expect you to be, like, you know, super fit, because, you know, like, high metabolism, which means that you, like, you know, like, people just, I mean, that's just in general for, like, people to expect of you, especially if you're a girl. But people, I mean, there's also, like, physical expectations for guys too, you know? Like, people are like, listen, guys, you're not gonna get, like, no girlfriend or boyfriend. You're not gonna get anybody unless you have those shredded abs. Like, you're gonna go to the beach and surf every day. Like, people just have, like, all these, like, different expectations and views about you, and, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how anyone survives the social life or mental strain of actually being in high school. Like, there's just so much, like, anxiety. Then you get, like, depression, and it's not great, and it's, like, there's such a toll that is taken upon you. And then there's just the culture of being a teenager that I really don't like sometimes. Because, you know, to be a teenager, you gotta be, like, this fashionable, popular, super cool, not super wealthy, but, like, you know, have more money in your back pocket than me. You know, like, you're not allowed to be poor. You know, you gotta be, like, just a little bougie. Gotta, like, live it up just a little bit. You know, like, those, like, movie teenagers. Like, there's just so many things. And, oh, the social medias that you're just sucked into and you waste like half of your day, you're like, oh crap. I was actually gonna like do things. Like I was actually gonna like shower, but I have missed the time window. Like my opportunity is like gone now. It's like, you know, it's like almost midnight and you're still like scrolling through like Pinterest or Instagram or like really like any media and you're just like, what am I doing with my life? I have so many regrets right now. Like, how is this helping me? This is not gonna get me anywhere. Like, I need sleep, but it's so addicting to just, you know, try and like do the TikToks along with like, you know, whoever famous people are on TikTok. Like, I know like two, and I really like one of those two. And the relationship statuses with other people. You're like, is this person a friend? Not a friend? How do I feel about them? Or like, you know, what defines friendship? Is an online friend better than a real friend? Because you can talk about things instead of expected to spend time with the person. You just don't know what defines what anymore. You're like, wait. And when you're in high school, like legit, you're like, you gotta be like my age or older. You're like, oh my gosh, everyone that I know that is also 16, or I don't know, probably even younger. The ages, I just can't keep track of these days. But like, you're like, oh my gosh, this person legit might be the exact same age as me. Or maybe like slightly older or younger, like in the same like range. And they have been dating this person for how long? Like, excuse you? Okay. It's like, oh, hey, kid, you turned like 17 last month. Guess you better get yourself like, you know, that boy or girl in your dreams. And I'm over here just like the first relationship that you have with literally anyone is gonna last. Like, I feel like you're supposed to like date a few people in order to like actually find like the one or whatever. Cause you know, then you know what doesn't work and you just feel kind of safer. At least in my opinion. Like, so that's why I just don't trust like the whole, you know, rom-com thing of like, oh, they were high school sweethearts and they've been together ever since they were like, you know, like 17 or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, the only way that is possible is if they were together, broke up, dated a few more people, and then got back together, and now they're married. Like, that's the only way it would make sense to me. Like, no one could stay with one person that long. But speaking of long, this video is taking up a lot of time. Like, that is too long. But there are just so many things about being a teenager that is not great. And there's just things that I want to complain about. Like, my last video was me, like, making a point of, like, oh, this is good for you. But now I'm like, you know what? I gotta do the opposite of that. I gotta complain and, like, rant for a minute. So, yeah. Was this relatable? I hope so. Because I've mentioned something that either has crossed your mind a lot or hasn't. Which, like, if it hasn't, how? Yeah, maybe you're just less anxious than me. Which could very easily be normal. But, I don't know. I don't know anymore. My brain doesn't function. I gotta go, like, do other things before I pass out. I'm dehydrated and hungry and it's kind of like warm today, so. But yeah. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I will see you guys on Friday. Thanks for listening to me talk. I'm sorry this video is so long. Goodbye. Bye.